if anything still happens to you, you get scammed or, anything like this, there are some, legal issues, you can call the number. And there is English service there, and you can sue whoever you want. Choose, like to go to which hairdresser to go, which hospital to go to. It also gives you some recommendations what you can do, right? Like you click on it and then you just find the address and you just go there. Isn't it amazing? Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Zaina. I have been living in China for almost 5 years, and today finally it's time to talk about the topic that you have been asking me for a very long time, specifically how to get ready for the trip to China, because after all I have been living here for almost 5 years and definitely there is a lot of useful information that I can share with you guys. Honestly, you are very lucky because I wish I watched this video before I personally came to China. Anyway, there is a lot of information ahead, so without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1 is VPN. So basically in China, in order to, use such services as YouTube, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, anything that's not the Chinese, even like TikTok, which you think is, like Chinese website, Chinese app, but actually it is for the Western audience. In China, they use Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok. So yes, for anything and for everything, you will definitely need VPN. And the problem is, when foreigners come to China, they find out that the VPNs that they downloaded from the App Store or from Google Market, they actually don't work in China. That's like hell of a problem, guys. So the VPN I'm using right now is provided by some, third party, and I'm gonna, attach to the description the context that you can use to connect to VPN that, works perfectly. And almost, like many of the foreigners use such services to connect to VPN. Tip number 2, in China, people don't speak English, okay? Unless you are in Shanghai, or maybe definitely in Hong Kong, they do speak, but even in Shanghai, people, don't speak English as good as in, in other countries. So be ready for that. And, if you still didn't download the good VPN, you cannot use Google Translate. So you need to use the service. The translator doesn't need VPN. Just in case, download Baidu Translate. I'm gonna attach also here the app icon and also in the description the link to download it. Yeah, and this is just in case your VPN is not working or you didn't download the VPN and so on and so forth. This is pretty solid translator. Tip number 3, navigation. How to navigate in the city. I found out that on iPhone, just iPhone Maps, Apple Maps work perfectly without any problems. Of course, you cannot use Google Maps here, forget about it. Use Apple Maps. They don't need VPN as well. As for Chinese people, they actually use this app Gaode, but you need to speak Chinese in order to understand the navigation. So I definitely recommend just using Apple Maps. Tip number 4, taxi. So here there is no Uber, certainly. There is the app that is called Didi, and here are the payment options. I remember there was cash, there used to be cash, but now I don't see this. But basically you can also use your Visa or MasterCard. As you can see as well, Didi offers different classes of service from economy class up to lux. In general, traffic in China is not that congested as in other cities, for example Moscow, or the worst traffic ever I have seen in my life was in Bangkok. No, you will you will not be surprised with the traffic here. Everything here is very, very efficient. Tip number 5, if you're a solo traveler, you want to meet new people, of course, you can use Tinder. For Tinder, you need a VPN, or you can use a Chinese version of Tinder, which is called Tantan. But I definitely have to tell you that Tantan is just like too many people and they don't usually speak English. So basically you use Tinder or maybe Bumble. I heard it's working as well. Yeah, such apps, they do work and people speak English there. But I have to tell you that there is a lot of scam here, like maybe even 30% of girls there are scammers. So be aware of that for sure. For example, how do they scam guys? Yes, you meet a girl, you see something, you know, on the photo you see one girl, and in person you see, for example, a 40-year-old woman. Yes, and then, you know, you cannot, you know, just go and leave. Even if it's a pretty girl, yes, she will bring you to a bar, and then, you know, inside the bar, you know, they will give you a menu, and in that menu there will be a lot of drinks without, you know, price tags on them, or with price tags, but those price tags are, you know, so freaking high. And then she will be ordering a lot of drinks or a lot of food, and you will definitely have to pay for that, of course. And if you don't pay, then, well, I don't know the consequences, but basically this is what I heard from some male, I cannot say friends, I don't know, acquaintances or whatever. Yes, so be aware of this, guys. This is definitely something that is very, very widespread. And as for the girls, same, you know, like there are a lot of male scammers who also, you know, like they put their, you know, on online profile that it's like a very nice picture, a very nice guy, he's very, you know, attentive with you and shit like that. But basically he is a scammer. He wants you to get into the scheme, for example, cryptocurrency. After a while he will be telling you that he is doing this cryptocurrency and you need. So basically there is like a huge, you know, scheme, which I'm not talking about in this video, but girls, also be aware. There are a lot of Tinder swindlers here in China. A lot of. So be aware. Tip number 6, safety. Apart from this, that you need to be, you know, aware of the scams, it's actually very safe. In China, I think China is one of the safest, you know, countries in the world. You know, you don't need to worry, you know, wearing your diamonds. You know, of course, you shouldn't wear it, you know, in some really, really, you know, uncrowded places where there are not many people and no CCTV cameras. But, you know, in the city center or wherever, you are very safe wearing your luxury watch or, you know, luxury products. It's definitely very safe. And you know, a lot of people do wear, you know, brands, and of course, certainly it's, you know, it's a very if you come, you know, to a big city, no problem. If you come not to a very big city, it's still not a problem, because there are still a lot of, you know, like businessmen there who are very rich. So yeah, you shouldn't worry about, you know, pickpockets. In my, you know, 5 years of living here, I have never, you know, nothing got stolen from me. I could leave my laptop, you know, in a restaurant and it would never be stolen. And I left a lot of things. I would leave a lot of things, you know, forget a lot of things in cafes, in Starbucks, in restaurants, and then the next day, the third day, a week later, I would call them and they still have that. Of course, be aware. Yes, still be a little bit, you know, kind of cautious, but in general, it is very, very safe here. Tip number 7, but if anything still happens to you, you know, you get scammed or, you know, anything like this, there are some, you know, legal issues, you can call the number 12345, and there is English service there, and you can sue whoever you want. Basically, you can complain to that service. For example, you went to the restaurant and the food was not fresh. You can sue that restaurant. Just provide the address, provide the name, provide the details, and they will take your matter very seriously. I have used this service many times. My friends used that service many times. They returned their money back. They got the justice. And the most important thing is that that service, they speak English. Maybe maybe not so perfect, maybe not fluent, you need to be a little bit slow with them, but in the end it's really, really nice that someone hears you in a foreign country. So yeah, you can definitely use this tip. Okay, the next tip about SIM card. I just mentioned that you should call 12345 for any complaints, but how can you call them? Yes, you need to buy a SIM card. Upon arrival, it's not really expensive. For a month, it's not more than 200 RMB, which is, I don't know, $30 or something. There are many, internet providers, mobile providers, so there is no problem with this. You can come with your passport and yeah, they will register. You can use if you come alone, you can just use the translator that I provided for you, and yeah, they will help. If you're not gonna use a SIM card, you can turn on your roaming. Just make sure that before you come to China, you actually connect with your mobile provider, yes, to make sure that you have the roaming settings, because this is what I didn't know before. I just thought that roaming, I can just turn it on whenever I want, but it doesn't work like this. You need to connect with your provider. You need to ask them how much the roaming costs and whether they do provide the service, what's the internet speed and so on and so forth. So make sure you do this before coming to China. So tip number 10, what about the money? What about the money? Yeah, you need to bring cash. Cash is king. Okay, cash is king. Literally. So here, yes, they might accept the Visa and MasterCard, but just in case, bring cash, bring money. You never know. Okay, as for Apple Pay, I'm not sure it's even supported here. Maybe in some places, yes. In Hong Kong for sure, yes, but it's another story. I'm sure you're watching this video because you're coming to mainland, right? So yeah, Apple Pay, no, nothing. Here people use Alipay and WeChat, but for Alipay and WeChat, you need Chinese bank card, and you cannot open Chinese bank card. Okay, you cannot open Chinese bank card if you're just on tourist visa or stuff like that. You can only open a bank card if you are on a student visa, on work visa, or on family visa. That's it. Okay, the next tip. Now, imagine you come to China and you are hungry. How do you find the restaurant? Okay, be a local here. I'm gonna teach you something. So you need to download this app. Again, I'm gonna attach it in the description, right? So click on it and you wanna find something really, really nice to eat. Don't worry that you see here Chinese, yes, Zhongwen, Mandarin, language that you don't understand. Click on that. Then click on the map. Click on the map and wow, you can see what's around you, and you can see the ranking. You can see whether the food is good, what's in there, how much per person, how much do you pay per person, and stuff like this. You can scroll and you can see their top dishes, anything and everything like that. Isn't it right? So here is their top dishes, 推荐菜. Especially if your Chinese is perfect, this is just like a heaven for you. This is number 1, number 2, number 3. You can see how many likes are there. Yeah, things like that. Isn't it amazing? I think it's great. I wish I had this app before, I personally came to China. So you guys are very, very lucky with me. So yeah, you can search like this. If your Chinese is good, you can also, you click here, 美食. And you choose, for example, you choose Japanese, or you choose Cantonese food, or Hong Kong food, Hainan food, Sichuan food, everything. You can just choose any category. This is such an amazing app. Does your country have such an amazing app like this? I cannot, I use this app every day, to check where I can eat, where I can go, and things like that. It's so freaking amazing. You can choose, like to go to which hairdresser to go, which hospital to go to. It also gives you some recommendations, what you can do, right? Like you click on it and then you just find the address and you just go there. Isn't it amazing? It's wow. It's just a wow. The next tip is tap water. Remember guys, water here, the tap water is not drinkable. You need to buy some bottled water, I'm just used to this. Yes, I just finished this bottle. I'm drinking another bottle. Yes, it's not really eco-friendly, but you have no other choice. You can only, you know, drink water that is in the bottle. You cannot drink tap water here. You can still brush your teeth and you know, shower and things like this, but never ever drink, because yeah, you can get some stomach infection. And as for the food safety, as long as you know you choose a restaurant which has, you know, an average price tag more than, you know, 50 RMB, 100 RMB, the food should be okay. Look in the app, you know, the ranking for the food. You can even, I think, I have never tried this, but you can even go to the kitchen and check, you know, what they are using. I have never done this. I don't think you should do this as well, because it's not really polite. I'm not sure. Yes, they will think, if you know, I'm gonna tell you this tip guys, you know, to check the kitchen. Now every foreigner will come, you know, and check the kitchen. I think it's not a really nice trend. Yes, so I didn't teach you guys to do this, so forget about it. And so the next tip is about the sockets. So make sure that you have all your chargers that are compatible with the sockets, with the Chinese sockets. I personally didn't have this problem because I had my Russian chargers and they fit perfectly, but still, just make sure that, you know, wherever you're from, that, you know, you can at any time connect, you know, and charge all your devices and, you know, things like that. And by the way, I'm wearing this hat already for the second time. It's because I recently had a surgery, which I also talked about in my previous video, so go watch it. That's it for my video today. See you guys in the next video.